So welcome to all about Cummings show. This is where we discuss Mr. Cummings' political agenda and happiness. Today is going to be firing. We're going to be discussing series of national issues surrounding Mr. Cummings' presidency. Keep sharing this live video because today is going to be well firing.
Pray for long fellow, he can pray for long life. As long as they living, the fellow will grow. You jacket from me right today, oh, Mary will jacket from you tomorrow, mama. Hey, you take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow. Fine power is power, it can make you heavy. Looking like a crookino, equator capsize. Ah, Kesavalio, Kesavalia, ah, Kesavalia, mama, no for go alone. When I pray for long fellow, he always pray for long life. As long as they living, the better we grow, my people. Sweet, sweet Kesavalio, no for go alone. After not for one person, oh, it's a matter of time, Papa. After is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I had. I'm about away, never where my way gone. Beautiful,
So let me say the very big welcome to everyone following us. Today is going to be political. You can make your call. I will place the number for you to make a call. Today is going to be energetic. Today there are a lot of things to be discussed. So keep sharing this live video. Regardless of your political differences, keep sharing this live video. Regardless about who you are, regardless about your locations in public offices, regardless of your dispute with me, regardless of your dispute with Mr. Cummings, regardless of your dispute with anybody associated with the ANC, keep sharing this live video. Share this live video. I want you people to continue to share this live video because I do not know the political dispute you have with me. I do not know the political dispute you have for everyone. What I'm about to discuss, there are a lot of turning information, secret informations. I want the video to reach 20%. What I'm about to hit on this blue app, no Liberian stop show host have ever in their life discussed it. What I'm about to say. Share this live video. What I'm about to say, what I'm about to expose, there's no political talk show host has ever discussed it. I want you to share this live video. I'm about to play this song. Share this live video. Let it live video. I'm about to play this song of Mr. Cummings. Share this live video. We are here to jubilate Mr. Cummings. Share this live video.
Straight up.
Let's go. They finish, oh, they finish. Yeah, the son Cummings say they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. Partiality finish, oh, they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. The corruption pays they finish, oh, they finish. Everybody have an enjoy. When one get wet, babu jaw that thing have to stop. Look, we have facility. Stealing our money, walking away with impunity. Yeah. We suffering and enjoying, while we crying and laughing. Hospital like a medicine. Now I wanna say they can give us straight to overseas. But we having somebody that coming, somebody that coming to bring justice for the poor. And it's having somebody that coming, through the CPP to wipe away our sorrow. We having somebody that coming, somebody that coming. We cool here facility. We having somebody that coming, somebody that coming. But you got opportunity. They finish, oh, they finish. Yeah, the son of Cummings say they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. Partiality finish, oh, they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. The corruption pays they finish, oh.
Let me say this. I don't care how many people follow me. I don't care how many people witness the ANC Liberia TV. I don't care. What I'm care about is for the message of Mr. Cummings. To hell with those who think that you have the numbers on the internet and do not have the votes on ground. I will say this. To hell with those who have the numbers on the internet and do not have the numbers on the ground. If you don't have the numbers on the ground, we don't prioritize you. And let me say this. I'm saying this to every ANC partisan. I feel less about how you think about what I'm about to say. I feel less about how you think I'm about to say it. But I care less if you have 1 million followers. If you don't have 1 million followers for Mr. Cummings, that is a lie. That is a shame on your part. A pretense on those who come on social media and believe they are advocating for Mr. Cummings' presidency, and which, of course, they are advocating for themselves. Accreditation. A shame. If Mr. Cummings must become president, Mr. Cummings must become president for the Liberian people, not yourself, accreditation. If we must discuss Mr. Cummings' presidency, we should discuss Mr. Cummings' presidency generally. We must discuss Mr. Cummings' presidency at a level where the Liberian people would know and believe. We must discuss Mr. Cummings' presidency based on the nature of what the Liberian people need. And that's why Mr. Cummings continued to say, if we keep doing the same things, keep acting proud, keep acting the way we want to act, keep acting too big, brother, you're not going to determine whether Mr. Cummings will become president. The Liberian people will determine that Mr. Cummings is the next president of the Republic of Liberia. If you feel you don't want to interact with people on this blue app from Mr. Cummings or talk to them about Mr. Cummings, but sit on this blue app, you're wasting your time. Only 5% of the Liberian population on the blue app can listen to you. So shame on you who discuss Mr. Cummings policy. And not affecting the life of the young people on the ground, and not affecting the life of the young people on the ground. Shame on you. Shame on every one of us who do podcasts that receive huge followers and that come into the grassroots of the discussion Mr. Cummings presidency. We feel we're so big and proud. You feel big and proud. You figure one can make Mr. Cummings president. You feel when you sit on the blue aisle and criticize George Weah, Mr. Cummings will become president. If you're not working the ground, you feel if you sit into your comfort zone and insult young people on the ground for little or nothing, you feel you can make Mr. Cummings president. You feel Mr. Cummings presidency can be based on your own pocket or based on your wisdom to convince people to make Mr. Cummings president. Liberian presidency comes to 2023, Liberian populations, presidential election comes to 2023, is going to be a heated debate. A debate that even some of those who think they have 1K, why is it Henry Costa can leave the internet and come campaign for himself on the ground? Because the internet cannot sustain his voting population on the ground. Why you think those political talk show hosts who have millions, who have thousands of followers, can leave from beyond a laptop, their phones, to come and discuss about the economic policy of themselves on the ground? It is because they want for that message to resonate with the grassroots. Those who are suffering, not the elites. Those who are suffering, not the elites. If we want to make Mr. Cummings president, we must interact with the grassroots. Nobody should fool you that President Weah do not have a popularity. President Weah do have a popularity. But President Weah have maintained his political popularity from 2017 election, from 2005 to 2022. President Weah have maintained his political popularity. If we want to make Mr. Cummings president, not on our so-called top show, not on our so-called online top show that we can have, Mr. Cummings will not be president based on our so-called top show that we can have on the Facebook and think we're convincing Liberians. This is an established fact that President Weah, 25 President Weah run for campaign president. Weah won, came second to Eddie Johnson said in 2005. 2011 President Weah contested, he came second place. 2017 President Weah contested. 2014 President Weah contested. He won as senator for Maserado County. 2017 President Weah contested. He became president for this country. If we want to make Mr. Cummings president, it's not with the elites. It's not with the elites. Stop practicing elitism policies. It's better we move to the ground. Let us negotiate to the people. Let us discuss the people issues. Let us sit and discuss the issues of the majority. Let Mr. Cummings, let us advise Mr. Cummings to meet with the people on the ground, with the local media. If Mr. Cummings must become president, it's not based on the 13% that following me, or the 15%, or the 17%, or the 18%, or the 88%, and the 89% that follow you on Facebook. In fact, Facebook only affects 5% of our Liberian population. Facebook affects 5% of our Liberian population. If you want to hear this, you hear this. Let us take the campaign from out of Facebook to move to the ground. 2023 is right near us. 2023 is by our side. Today we're hearing about the equal what president we want to rig the elections. We are not making noise with on our viewer podcast to note, but by the time in 2023, when the election have been rigged, you see all those on the social media, on our podcast, the election was rigged. It is a shame to our modern democracy process that people will take off their social media platform and not to even discuss the issues, the corruption issues of NEC leading the 2023 elections. We have been advocating on this internet, on the NEC, recognize our advocacy and go back to change their plan. This is the effort of a genuine advocacy, not someone who will sit and pin that here and see that here has a political goal in the campaign of Mr. Cummings. If you see yourself a political goal in the campaign of Mr. Cummings, in the political campaign of Mr. Cummings, you are a total mistake to Mr. Cummings' political elections. I will say this. If Mr. Cummings must become president, Mr. Cummings must become president for each and every one of us. Mr. Cummings must become president for the downtrodden masses. Mr. Cummings must become president. The downtrodden masses should know Mr. Cummings. Those that the runner boards, the social boards, the marketeers should know Mr. Cummings. This is an election that we're going to sustain the survivability of our states. This is an election in 2023 that we're going to sustain the credibility of the name of Liberia in the international community. We know Joshua is an inept individual. Joshua do not have the pedigrees and the charisma to lead our people come 2023. But it based on our level of negotiation with the grassroots. And to those who support Mr. Cummings on the blue app, to those who support Mr. Cummings on the blue app, to those who feel that Mr. Cummings can become president because they feel that Mr. Cummings is the rightful person to become president, you are making mistake. Mr. Cummings can only become president in the Republic of Liberia if the message resonates with the grassroots. Our message need to resonate with the grassroots. Those in the greater markets, the firma markets, the tertiary markets, people need to understand Mr. Cummings' campaign. People need to know who is Mr. Cummings. People need to know how Mr. Cummings is sent to the vice presidency of Coca-Cola. These are the messages that will be preached. Now, who get a higher view, who this and who that and the other. That cannot profit the Liberian people. You'll be wasting your own time on the needed capacity that you feel you can host. The population size of Liberia on the internet is 5%. If we must affect the 95% of Liberian people, we should leave the internet and campaign for Mr. Cummings vigorously on the ground. Leave pretense. You be pretenders. You be pretenders. Leave pretense. Mr. Cummings struggled to make Liberia great again. Mr. Cummings struggled to make Liberia great again. Is that based on your self-personal podcast? It's based on our self-personal engagement with the people. It's based on our self-personal engagement with the grassroots. If Mr. Cummings must become president, if Mr. Cummings must lead a majority bloc of the Liberian people, if Mr. Cummings must become president comes 2023, you people that are in America, let me say this to you people that are in America. I reached to a point that I speak to you vigorously. You send your same wave, your mobile money, your Western Union to people, and you sit in America and open podcasts, you think Mr. Cummings can become president, you are joking. If you send your Western Union to people on the ground and feel Mr. Cummings can become president based on your Western Union transaction, you're joking. There are a lot of schemers. There are a lot of schemers on the ground. What you need to do, purchase your plane ticket, come to Liberia, convince those you send mobile money to make Mr. Cummings president. If you feel that you want to make Mr. Cummings president, it's based on your self-individual engagement with Liberian people. It's not based on your pretense. Pretense cannot make Mr. Cummings president. Today I'm active. Today my political activeness I take a course because towards 2023, it is based on the immediacy of those that support Mr. Cummings, it will be based on the immediate or those who feel that Mr. Cummings is the next person to support Mr. Cummings continue to do. If we need to support Mr. Cummings continue to do, we need to campaign vigorously. President Weah is a walking their political machinery. President Weah have fear of people. President Weah have fear of people. It is time for us to make a sacrifice, a political sacrifice to make Mr. Cummings president. If you are in Liberia, come and make Mr. Cummings president by mobilizing. If you are in the United States of America, purchase your plane ticket December 15 and come and get your voter registration card to debate the issues of Mr. Cummings presidency on the soil of the Republic of Liberia. This is the soil of a free land of liberty. This is the soil that brought the liberty of the Pan-Africanists that came on the west coast of Africa. If we don't do this, if we feel that making Mr. Cummings president to come and sit on this center there, we are mistaken. George, we are just appointed a corrupt, a fugitive for America. Same though, a renowned fugitive, a drugs dealer. He was appointed at the National Port Authority as manager, as operational flights. That man is a fugitive. No opposition, no talk show hosts are discussing about that. But you want to make Mr. Cummings president in your mere dream that you're not negotiating with the grassroots, you are joking. You are joking. We live in Liberia. We feel the pains of the Liberian people. We feel the pains of the Liberian people. We feel the struggle of the Liberian people. We stay in Liberia. We feel the pains of the Liberian people. We feel the pains of ourselves. We see how disunified the CDC is. We see how inept the CDC administration is. We see how disunited the Liberian people is under the CDC administration. If we must make Mr. Cummings president, based on our togetherness to mobilize the Liberian people, stop being an elite. Resist for your elitism. Mr. Cummings have already been saying this. We cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep marking the same individuals or portraying the same political candidates who have failed our Liberian people and expect different results. If we must make Mr. Cummings president, our dependency to make Mr. Cummings president depends on the grassroots. Mr. Cummings presidency depends on the grassroots. And that depends on you who funding down in the United States, who funding you sent in Liberia. It depends on those who are struggling, who go to bed hungry. These are the actual voters of the Liberian people, those who go to bed hungry. Those who go to bed hungry depends on the masses of the Liberian people. Those who struggle for the liberations of Liberia through poverty. These are the people who will become these are the people who will determine the next president of the Republic of Liberia. You cannot determine the next president of Liberia. You cannot dictate to the Liberian people who will be the next president of Liberia if you are not doing your groundwork. If Mr. Cummings must become president, and Mr. Cummings, if you portray Mr. Cummings as the next president of the Republic of Liberia, we must do the job. Stop being in an online sycophantic political machinery. Stop being an online sycophantic political machinery. I will repeat myself. If Mr. Cummings must become president, we that carry on the live show and the podcast should stop being a sycophantic political machinery for Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is the next president, we all know. But how can our vision turn to reality? How can our vision turn to reality? How can our political vision turn to reality? How can it express Mr. Cummings' vision in one angle? If we feel Mr. Cummings is the next president, you know what we mean? Is to see those who pretend to be supporters of Mr. Cummings, and they are not playing the games of the ground. The games of the grounds is based on the better struggle of the Liberian people. There are many people who are suffering. There are many people in this country that are suffering. You talk today, you talk tomorrow. When CDC gave them bag of rice with 25,000, they will vote CDC. You talk to them day and night, the CDC gave bail horse for them, they will vote CDC. You talk to them day and night, a CDC bring them money, they will vote CDC. How can we build the consciousness of Liberian people to elect Mr. Cummings? That is the biggest question that we'll have to answer. How can we build legacy of Mr. Cummings? How can we build the message of Mr. Cummings for us to sink in the head of the Liberian people to elect Mr. Cummings 2023? We have 3 major contenders. We have 2 major contenders in 2023. That is against Mr. Cummings. We have 2 major contenders against Mr. Cummings. We have a corrupt, malnutritional, ill-fated, malnourished politician called President George Mada. We have him. We have him. We have a squanderer-in-chief, President George. We have a squanderer-in-chief, Ambassador Joseph Imo Boaka, going against a man with integrity, a man with clean hands, a man that have the record and the political understanding to transform this country. Let us stop being a political pretenders to support Mr. Cummings' presidency. I will say this without no fear and favor. We tired being milky. We will have to express this to the Liberian people for the Liberian people to know. If you want to support Mr. Cummings, it's not based on your views. It's based on your implementations on the ground to make Mr. Cummings president. It's not based on your viewers. I don't get down how many people view me, how many people look up to me for political views. I have time for those who associate themselves with people on the ground, like Miata Harvin. She's currently in Liberia. You know the work she's currently doing in Liberia? Like Miata. Let me get it for you. You know the work in doing on the ground to make Mr. Cummings president? You know the work in doing on the ground to make Mr. Cummings president? It is about the work you have to do on the ground. He's in Nema, recruiting and mobilizing men and women to support Mr. Cummings' presidency for 2023. And you talk about viewers. You talk about how many people follow you, how many people share your views. You should be inept to know that only 5% of the Liberian people, of our Liberian population, even witness us online. The 95% who make the presidency are offline. They do not have access to the internet. If we need to make Mr. Cummings president, we should engage those 95%. Let me tell you this. President, we are playing for 2023 is to rig the election. That's the reason why the National Election Commissions are consistently being forcing ECOM on the Public Procurement Concession Committee, PBCC. ECOM is a fraud institution, an institution whose website does not link with the original website of its institution. Let me show you this. ECOM is an organization who have no value in the space of political understanding to conduct a biometric process. This few ECOM website has a cyber personnel, I have the cyber security, has a cyber personnel. I tried to trace the website of ECOM. If you see to the website of ECOM on the registry, who registered ECOM, you not know who registered ECOM, you not know. This is an institution hired, accepted by the Liberia National Election Commissions to conduct the biometric process that have been reported that their system have been malfunctioning over the past 17 years. Their system have been malfunctioning. But we are yet sitting and think Mr. Cummings can become president based on the work he do. And let us try to fight. Let us try to engage. Let us try to speak on the current happening of NEC. Mr. Cummings can only become president if we expose the ills. President George Weah is currently trying to rig the elections. As a cyber personnel, I've researched and played with ECOM website, and I found out that ECOM is an expired, updated a fated institution that does not have the credibility to conduct the 2023 elections, biometric elections. Their system is full of duplications. Their system is full of duplications. Their system does not have the pedigrees to sustain over 5 million Liberian registered voters. This is econ. And we sit here and we pretend to Mr. Cummings. I want to make Mr. Cummings president. Let me show you econ background search of that website. Let me show you. I'll show you econ background search. Look here. Look here. You see? I'll show you econ background search. If you see this. I'll show you econ background search. You see this? So Chinese writing. This is econ, the company hired by the Liberia National Election Commissions to conduct the 2023 biometric voter registration card. See this, the registrant who registered this institution have not been disclosed. Who registered this institution website is indisposed. It's not disposed. Who registered this institution website is not disposed. We are sitting with pretending on who have the viewers, who have more viewers. Come on ground. My Miata is on ground. My Miata staring. Stella Harren is on ground. She's interacting with the Liberian people. This is econ who want to corrupt the system that the Liberian National Election Commission is looking up to corrupt the entire system. And we are here sitting. You see, so Chinese writing on their website. So Chinese writing. We sit on social media. We sit on social media and think we are the gurus of social media. We think we are the gurus. When you sit on social media and because you have a platform, you have 89%, 100% view, you think you are gurus. You are not no gurus. You have one vote. What you need to do, you have one vote. What you need to do is to mobilize the people on the ground, negotiate with the people on the ground to accept Mr. Cummings' message. 100% of the Liberian population need to accept Mr. Cummings' message. Stop being a sycophantic, pretentious political machineries for Mr. Cummings. Stop. 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 Who be sycophantic Pharisees of Mr. Cummings? Stop. Let us engage Mr. Cummings' campaign on the ground. I will not be civil opportunity to make Mr. Cummings president. I will show you the background of the website. Let us stop being a sycophantic political machineries of Mr. Cummings. I will show you the background of that website. If Mr. Cummings might become president based on our efforts to make Mr. Cummings president, and not based on your good gesture, share this live video. And not based on your good gesture, and not based on your good political atmosphere with Mr. Cummings. How long you know Mr. Cummings, how you see Mr. Cummings on your job negotiation with Mr. Cummings, it's based on the work you do. Do your work. Your work speaks for you. Your work determines, your work becomes your political CV. If you're working for Mr. Cummings, people will know your work determines is your political CV. Your campaign you do on the internet. You know how many discussions we have had with people on the internet or off the internet on the radio. You sit here and jeopardize Mr. Cummings' presidency. You feel you can make Mr. Cummings president. Shame on you. And let me respond to Jay Rennie. I don't usually do this, but I will respond to Jay Rennie. Jay Rennie, Chan Jay Rennie, I've been he is a serious confidant and a serious brother to me. I have never wanted to go this far. But let me say this to you. Mr. Cummings' presidency is not based on your sycophantic political machinery propaganda to make Mr. Cummings president. If you call Mr. Cummings and Mr. Cummings do not listen to you or call you, do not waste your time. Mr. Cummings, do not people, you're like your black man show. You're like it, they're trying to hack the show. Keep sharing this live video, trying to hack the show. They are trying to hack the show. Keep sharing this live video. They are trying their best to hack the show. Keep sharing this live video. They are trying their best to hack the show. Share this live video. Let the share go 100. They are trying to hack the show. Send more love video. Let me say this to you, Che Rennie. You have been one of the best person I've been following on the internet. Do not use your political sycophantic greed and self-aggrandizement to insult Mr. Cummings. If you do, we will come to you. I will come for you vigorously. And there is a warning to stop your mere political propaganda against Mr. Cummings. You've been insulting Mr. Cummings online. I have been cautioning you to leave the insult of Mr. Cummings online. But if you dare, I publicly challenge you on this blue app. The next time you insult Mr. Cummings for your self-political aggrandizement, when I come for you, the internet will not even able me you. I will create a 13 pages analysis, a 13 pages analysis of your fake political pretense against Mr. Cummings. I dare you to criticize Mr. Cummings again, or based on personal political aggrandizement. I don't want to do it. I will not do it. But if you make me to do it, will be for a until you will sort. Your knees will test the flow before I leave you. Trust me. The same way I watered down Stoughton Waterspoon, I will water down you to the extent that you will know that political self-aggrandizement does not depend or depends the growth of the general population of the popular bureau. Let's move to another issues. Another issues. I'll publish to you this. Someone said I should publish the background end of NEC of that institution website, not NEC, but Ecom website. This is the background end of that website. This is the background end of Ecom website. This is the background end of Ecom. So Chinese rating. So Chinese rating. This is the background end of Ecom website. So Chinese rating. If you look through it, so Chinese rating. There is an institution who does that, who is not even able to present a fitting, who is not even able to produce a fitting voter registration card on the spot. Ecom, what NEC want to use. And we said here, if we can make Mr. Cummings president by our political podcast, but who have the higher viewer, when you have the higher viewer, it means you're rooting it. You're not rooting nothing. You're not rooting nothing in the popular viewer if you're not able to convince. Like the political campaign that Madam Miata said, one bring one. It is time for us to come down and recruit one bring one. Me, I will officially declare a one bring 10 campaign on this blue app. We'll challenge the Liberians in the diaspora. I won't bring 10 in the Liberians in Liberia. One bring 10. One bring 10 campaign. We will launch the one bring 10 campaign. I can send you the link for us to discuss it. It is shameful for us to sit on this blue app and think we can make Mr. Cummings president, and we are not reaching the people on the ground. The people on the ground are the ones supposed to make Mr. Cummings president. We have 5% of our Liberian people on the internet, and we're chasing 10, we're chasing 89,000, 100, we're chasing 100 viewers. What the viewers can do for Mr. Cummings presidency? Mark Zuckerberg, even currently adding robot to your viewers. So if you have 100 viewers, you have money, maybe you have 75 robot was listening your discussion. You see how shameful and disgraceful it is that you are posting on the pretense that you have 1K follower, 2K follower. Well, most of them are robots because we are in the virtual reality industry. Most of them are robots. The political campaign of Mr. Cummings is based on the integrity advocacy that will carry on as a lead integrity advocacy outcome. Let me say this. It is Mr. Cummings becoming president. It is very serious. There are a lot of people who have sacrificed to make Mr. Cummings president. There are a lot of people who have sacrificed their dime, their sin in making Mr. Cummings president. If we don't want to appreciate them, if we don't want to value them, if we want to stay on the blue out to pull our shoulders, Mr. Cummings will not become president. There is a same thing that people complain about in 2017. He's still practicing an attitude. He's still practicing an attitude that people feel that Mr. Cummings need to regenerate, revert his institution to become president. You know how many people believe in Mr. Cummings to become president in this country, but we are not reaching out to them? Mommy, I want to bring you on live. I want to bring my Oma on live. Let my Oma join a live conversation. We need to engage the Liberian people. We need to discuss issues to the Liberian people. When I can say there to tell me who get a higher viewer, I get a hang about how many people view me. The message is Mr. Cummings must become president, period. And how Mr. Cummings will become president is by engaging our fellow Liberians. Is by mobilizing our Liberians, not by sitting to make ourselves, to make ourselves look beautiful and pretty to make Mr. Cummings president. No, check yourself. Check yourself. Check yourself. If Mr. Cummings must become president, we should take the needed debate. We should take the needed argument to the Liberian people if Mr. Cummings must become president. So help me God. If Mr. Cummings do not become president, no, you know the effect again on some of us that have our online show. You know the effect they have on some of us that have our online show. You know the effect they have some of us. You know the effect they have on some of us. Some of us live in Liberia. Some of us live in Liberia. We feel the political atmospheres of the things that is happening in Liberia. Some of you people live in the diaspora, they just sit there being insulting some of us. Imagine people, someone in the diaspora will sit and insult some of us. Insult some of us for nothing. He insult some of us for nothing. Some people text us to insult us. Some of us text us to insult us. And let me say you this. Someone just sent me a major information about trying to send a major information. Someone just sent me a major information. If we don't take time as opposition political leaders, if we do not take time as opposition, we are not speaking on the Eton deal. If we don't take time as opposition political advocates, you know some of the things we receive if Mr. Cummings do not become president in 2023. You know how many things we have said against the George Weah presidency if George Weah win 2023? Some of you will be in your comfort zones. You're not even get time for some of us. Some of us will be waiting to feed our families, but we are risking our life every day and night. Some of us, we stay in Liberia, we understand the political terrain of this country. We understand the political terrain of this country. We know what it takes to become president, to run a political talk show, most especially when you live in Liberia. It is easier to criticize George Weah out of Liberia. It is easier to tell George Weah how George Weah is inept, how George Weah is a malnutritional political species. It is easy. But it's not easy to stay in Liberia to discuss. It is not easy. So for some of us to discuss Mr. Cummings' political, to discuss against George Weah in this country, it is not easy. It is not easy. But some of you take it to be to make fun of us when you people are not mobilizing. Shame on you people that are not mobilizing. You like it, take me anywhere. Go discuss me with any of your friends. I don't care. Shame on you that come to Mr. Cummings' campaign and fail to mobilize. If you do not mobilize in Mr. Cummings' campaign, you lost it. Just imagine Mr. Cummings appointed his individual on his campaign team. People started criticizing Mr. Cummings go ahead and respond to some of the criticism that make Mr. Cummings a political leader. In fact, Mr. Cummings respond saying, anybody I appointed on my campaign team, anybody I appoint on my campaign team, anybody I appoint on my campaign team, if you have been found on corruption or on a war crime, you will be brought to justice. Listen to it. Listen to this. Now I'm more saying it. Now I'm more saying it than Mr. Cummings says saying it. Listen to it. Listen.
It's because you can get away with it. And what I'm saying to you and everybody here is that the rules will be different. They will be enforced, and people will either comply with the rule or they will bear the consequences of that. And if any of these people, if the evidence leads to them stealing, killing, whatever else, whether they support me or not, the rule of law will run its course. They know that. I am serious about that. The rule of law will run its course. Killing, whatever else, whether they support me or not, the rule of law will run its course. If the evidence leads to them stealing, killing, whatever else, whether they support me or not, the rule of law will run its course.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings. What are those who, all those that are named on my national campaign team, if they be found guilty, whether based on the economic war crime code or for corruption, whether they support him or not, the rule of law will take a course. Who are you to not support Mr. Cummings when you're not being found guilty? You need to campaign for Mr. Cummings. Who are you to say and depend on political, on mere Facebook viewers? Shame on you. Come on, go and support Mr. Cummings.
They know that. I'm serious about that. But there were a lot of people we named who didn't have any of these issues, if you will. Look, I've done a lot of corporate restructuring, genius stuff. And when you come into an organization as a leader in the private sector, you don't get rid of everybody in the corporation, right? You get rid of a few people, you bring one or two new people in, but typically you change the environment, you change the culture, you change the governance process and the systems. And those same people who were not performing last year will perform this year and perform better because you change the environment, you change the structure, you give them roles that are better suited for them. They know their consequences. They know you demand performance. And if they don't perform, they will lose their jobs. And so that's what we have to do. Look, the country has, I'm sorry to say, not many people, with experience and stuff that are pure. And I remind Liberians, you got to meet the country where it is before you change it. If I stay over here, quote unquote, Mr. Perfect, and the country is here, we'll never get to lead the country. You have to meet the country where it is, and hopefully you can change it over time.
You listen to Mr. Cummings. You listen to Mr. Cummings' political vision. You listen to Mr. Cummings. You listen to Mr. Cummings' political vision. Shame on you who do not want to come down in Liberia campaign. Shame on you. Big shame. Big shame on you people. Big shame. Listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. Mr. Cummings have verified his change message to the Liberian people. Listen.
Means more jobs for them. Change means better education for them and all their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and we have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average. More jobs for them. Change means better education for them and all their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and we have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how to deliver those changes. And I believe that's what we offer.
You listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. You listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. You listen to how accurate Mr. Cummings' change message is. You listen to how concise Mr. Cummings' change message is. You listen to how genuine Mr. Cummings' change message. And you want to pretend. Let me tell you that a lot of pretenders pretending that they are good under the Cummings umbrella. When Mr. Cummings become president, it will be wow. We know you. We know you. But we know Mr. Cummings will make the necessary change that we need. We know Mr. Cummings will make that necessary change we need. We know Mr. Cummings have contributed to the growth and development of this country. We know Mr. Cummings' contribution to the growth and development of this country is not based on self-aggrandizement or self-political benefit. It's based on Mr. Cummings' self-will and humanitarian gesture to change this country. That's the reason why Mr. Cummings decided to contest for the presidency in 2017, living his luxury life and coming down to contribute to the life of the downtrodden masses. That's the reason why Mr. Cummings continued to sharpen the corridors of enlightenment to let our people know that he is the next leader of this country. Mr. Cummings' presidency is based on truth-telling, it's based on integrity, it's based on rule of law, it's based on political prosecution if there is any. That is Mr. Cummings' way of contributing to humanity. It's not based on self-political aggrandizement, how many clothes you have. It's not based on popularity. It's not based on your views. Mr. Cummings' political contribution to this country is not based on what Mr. Cummings Zoom, what Mr. Cummings base. No. Mr. Cummings' self-contribution. Mr. Cummings' self-contribution is based on his humanitarian gestures in Havana since 2012 of the present. Imagine since 2012 of the present is 22 years. It's 12 years. 12 years Mr. Cummings has spent. 12 years Mr. Cummings has spent in his political gesture in humanitarian posture. 12 good years Mr. Cummings has been contributing to the Liberian people. To make Mr. Cummings president is very easy. We need to use our intellect. We do not need to use our arrogances or popularity. Mr. Cummings has been contributing to this motherland for over 12 years since 2012. Unlike George Weah, who stole the courage of the Liberian people and wasted the courage of the Liberian people. Until within 5 years, George Weah have denied the Liberian people for adequate, good living conditions. He is an inept, sycophantic, dishonest, and uncharacteristic individual. Say this. I will say this to your face for you to know. If you don't know that Mr. Cummings have been contributing to the growth and development of this motherland, you will be confusing yourself. And I have no option to make you believe that Mr. Cummings have been contributing to the motherland, therefore you to listen to this. Listen to this, you will believe that Mr. Cummings have been contributing to the growth and development of this country. Listen.
So
This is a recording of Mr. Cummings' his tremendous contribution to the growth and development of this country. This is Mr. Cummings' contribution. Listen very well. Take your pen and paper and listen. Open your ears, your hearts to listen and take note of Mr. Cummings' contribution. Listen. Listen very well.
I was talking to my papi there, my old man there, my pikin there, all my real girl there. I went on Broad Street there, I went Clarendon, I even went Pinsville, I went Bon, Lofa, Nimba, Grand Cape Man, and all my papi there, everybody just telling me, say, the mayor, same we not see the mayor, the man looking like good mayor, the man just good, all the thing the man talking, it makes sense to help our country. But all the people then just keep telling us, say, oh, the man just coming, the man ain't do nothing for Liberia. So I say, you know what? Yo, well, let me go check so I can find out the thing here. So I went and checked. I checked that when the man was working with Coca-Cola, the man used his position to get people in Coca-Cola to donate about $2 million to support Liberia. During the Ebola time, the man decided, he said, I will help, I will get people together, I will use my position, $2 million. He stopped there. He provided scholarship for our children and Liberian children in Liberia and abroad. The man sponsored the Alexander B. Cummings Innovation Center at the AMU University. Imagine that for our students to be learning better, to get better access to Google things to learn. Then he decided, he said, no, I will look for local organizations in Liberia that are trying to do work for people to bring water. About 20 other organizations, 20 projects. He decided to sponsor 20 projects for organizations who were building pumps, digging well, helping to provide clean drinking water. He stopped there. The man spent almost $4.5 million in the Pinsville area, around the Dupo area, for you who actually living there, to build the first school they call STEM school. That school is supposed to help our children and learn about computer, about technology, about math, about science. The first time ever in the history of Liberia. The man stopped there. The man convinced a friend in America during the Ebola crisis. That time you're not even thinking about running for president. During the Ebola crisis, he convinced a lot of BP people in America. He brought all of them with him to Liberia. He said, you gotta go see for ourselves what happening in Liberia. He brought some top branding from Coca-Cola. Because of that, they decided that during the Ebola crisis, Coca-Cola would not shut down. While all the other companies that were closing, Coca-Cola remained open. In fact, Coca-Cola increased their work in Liberia by employing more Liberians. Now what could we not do? The man stopped there. Our president Ellen Johnson said he saw the thing and said, what? The man too good. I can't believe the thing the man doing. So she decided to get a man the highest honor in the Republic of Liberia. She said, I will honor the man for the kind of good work he's doing. Long need to call it in the 9th grand band in the Humane Order of African Redemption. Now what Ellen Johnson said he get a man to honor the man. I said, even Jua Howard Taylor that running will open today, she saw the thing. She said, what? I can't believe it. The man are too good, man. The man too good for the man, too good the way the man helping the country. In fact, she saw the thing for long. She said, you know what? In fact, I'm in love with the man. The man too good. But the man will have said, that one not there. He not doing it for you, Joel. Don't be in love with the man. Yeah? He married. I'm my husband. He only doing it for Liberia because he really loved this country. He launched the Cummings Africa Foundation. Since the man launched the foundation in 14 months, the man had undertaken 22 projects, and he now support 25 different organizations in Liberia, and about 30,000 plus Liberians now benefit from the projects the man now do. He now spent about $289,000 US on education, agriculture, and health. The how good the man is, the man paid the wire school fee for 2,322 students. He won. He spent about $106,000 US in actually doing it. The man stopped there. The man went to BWI. The man saw BWI. They played dark, no current. All our politicians that been in the country passing around, they never thought about it at all. The man decided, the man said, okay, I will change this thing and I'm good for the people to be coming to school, no lie. The man buy this big generator. Big generator. The generator can electrify the whole BWI and even provide more current to people outside of BWI. 350 kVA. The generator cost the man $67,000. The man said, BWI, y'all use the generator so people can come to school with light. That the Cummings man they're talking about, they say the men are good, they don't know the man just come in. That the man, my people, when you go vote, remember, Alexander B. Cummings, the man want change the country. The man want make the country better. He said, y'all stop supporting the politician who been lying to us. Finally, y'all get together to make our country better. Remember.
You are all listening to Mr. Cummings' contribution. Do not be a sycophant to re-vote a corrupt and inept leader, the George Weah. Do not be a sycophant. Mr. Cummings have always been contributing to the government development of this model. Do not be a sycophant. Do not be a sycophantic Liberian. If you're not enjoying, you pretend I'm enjoying. If you're not doing this, you pretend I'm doing it. Do not be a sycophantic Liberian. You will die soon. If you think that Mr. Cummings have not contributed to the motherland, you are sick and fake. What you need to do is support your spirit to elect a man who have contributed to this motherland. This is Mr. Cummings, who always been in the vanguard for political campaign activities and humanitarian purposes. This is Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings will always contribute to the government development of this motherland. Go low in Duboro, the STEM school in Duboro. Mr. Cummings built that STEM school in Duboro with no subsidy from government. This is the Cummings ideology, the Cummings agenda, the Cummings roadmap, the Cummings developmental understanding. And when it comes to Mr. Cummings' vision of the motherland, if you come to what Mr. Cummings can actually do, what is Mr. Cummings' vision? If you want to argue about Mr. Cummings' vision, if you want to argue what Mr. Cummings' vision, what is Mr. Cummings' vision on developing Liberia, then this show is the right show to make you know what is Mr. Cummings' political ideology. What is Mr. Cummings' vision to change this country? Not a mere purple agenda, a sick purple agenda that does not have the political pedigrees to liberate our Liberian people. Listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. You will get to know how adequate, prepared Mr. Cummings is. Listen to Mr. Cummings' vision.
"170 years." Yeah.
Listen to Mr. Cummings' vision and you will know. Now I'm telling you that Mr. Cummings, listen, stay tuned and listen to Mr. Cummings.
And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, after 170 years, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Why, after 170 years, most Liberian homes don't have electricity? Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. These are things I, as your president, will change for all of you. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you. This is what the Cummings, Solonter, and ANC-led government will commit to you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. And I ask you to make that comparison as you go to the polls on October 10th. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. So after job creation, our next priority is agriculture. We are a country, after 170 years, that do not feed ourselves. Last year alone, we imported over 160 million United States dollars in rice import, and total food imports was over $280 million. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves, and my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after these things called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country, is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar or minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly, thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize the assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. Okay. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring to lead our country. So I ask you, together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
You listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. You listen to what Mr. Cummings is about to do. You listen to the political policy of Mr. Cummings. So it level you to make a decision comes on to the day. So tomorrow will be an intense show for us tomorrow. Let me show you who I will be hosting. Tomorrow will be an intense show. Tomorrow by 1:30, I'll be hosting Mr. Jason Macker. He is the ANC communication strategist. That's where I'll be hosting tomorrow. And also I'll be hosting James P. Morris tomorrow by 2:30. So by 1:30, I'll be hosting the communication strategist, Mr. Cummings, at 1:30, and tomorrow I'll be hosting James P. Morris tomorrow. So I will publish all of the people I'll be hosting tomorrow for you guys to follow and see. So tomorrow discussion will be on the radio. We'll be taking a discussion from the internet to the radio to discuss with our thousands of Liberians who will be listening to us. So tomorrow will be intensive. We will be able to host all of them. Tomorrow will be intensive. So trust me, we will do the people's job. The people's jobs will be done tomorrow. And on Monday, we'll be hosting, if possible, if negotiation is satisfied, we'll be hosting the ANC Youth Secretary General. So we want to see how best to bring him back, because many people say, oh, want to bring him back some money. We'll be bringing back to discuss issues surrounding the ANC and Liberia at large. So you people can follow me tomorrow. It will be an intense discussion by 1:30, very intensive all the way to the time. So tomorrow, follow me. There will be a lot of things to be discussed tomorrow. We have 2 guests tomorrow to discuss ANC issues. It will be intense tomorrow. Do not miss it by 1:30. Do not miss any discussion about ANC by 1:30, because you will miss the cheese. You will miss the fries. If we must transform Liberia, if we must defend Liberia, if we must defend Mr. Cummings' presidency, we must come out to discuss it. And I encourage all those in the diaspora that have come to Liberia, come, let us discuss on the radio and on TV for people to know that you're in. So be listening. So tomorrow will be intense. I think I need to publish the guys I'll be hosting tomorrow. I think I need to do that publication. So tomorrow, the first person I'll be hosting tomorrow, let me publish it. I think I need to publish the people I'll be hosting tomorrow for you to know. The first person I'll be hosting tomorrow is first person I'll be hosting tomorrow. I think I need to publish it for you people to see. Let me publish it. I need to publish the first person I'll be hosting tomorrow. I need to publish the first person I'll be hosting tomorrow. First person I'll be hosting tomorrow is this. I'll publish the people I'll be hosting tomorrow, so you people get prepared tomorrow and follow the show. The show will be intensive. The show will be very intensive tomorrow. Follow the show. It will be intensive tomorrow. We'll be hosting a lot of people tomorrow. Follow the show. Follow the show tomorrow will be intensive. Very intensive. This is the first person I'll be hosting tomorrow. This is my first guest tomorrow by 1:30. I'll be hosting tomorrow by 1:30. Chief strategist, Mr. Cummings, by 1:30. I'll be hosting of the ANC. I'll be hosting tomorrow. There's the person I'll be hosting tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow's discussion. It's going to be genuine. It's going to be something that you will love. Don't miss tomorrow's discussion. And secondly, I'll be hosting Jim Morris tomorrow. You see it on Liberty Radio. But when you have a family, your friends, this thing that they call him. There's the second person I'll be hosting tomorrow. So tune in to the ANC Liberia TV on Liberty Radio. These are the people I'll be hosting tomorrow. I will share the flyer on the ANC Liberia TV for you to follow. Thank you very much for listening to me. And this is how I call today a day. Here's how I call today a day. Keep listening to the ANC Liberia TV. Keep following, keep sharing the ANC Liberia TV. Keep following our comments, our content. Keep sharing our content and everything. Keep doing it. Listen to this music, and this music will take you home.
They finish, so they finish. Elisana Cummings say they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. Partiality finish, oh, they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. The corruption pays they finish, oh, they finish. Everybody have an enjoy. When one get wet, babu jaw that thing have to stop. Look, we have facility, stealing our money, walking away with impunity. Yeah. We suffering and enjoying, while we crying and laughing. Yeah. Hospital like a medicine. Now I want to say, you can give it straight to overseas. Overseas, but we having somebody that coming, somebody that coming to bring justice for the poor, and it's having somebody that coming, through the CPP to wipe away our sorrow, We having somebody that coming, somebody that coming with cool health facility. We having somebody that coming, somebody that coming with equal opportunity. They finish, oh, they finish. And it's Cummings, they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. Partiality finish, oh, they finish. They finish, oh, they finish. The corruption pays, they finish, oh, they finish. Yeah, tell a group of people in the country treating all as slave. If you try to talk as soon as they get you, you will go to jail. Look at that, violating our way, our staff feeling not care. Liberia wake up when I send somebody to rescue us. And the Senate come and pet you out in the future. You got election ability, peace and transparency. Coming to the system for everybody to benefit. So shine your eye, be wise, don't be fool with killing, breaking agriculture. Smoke, you might get past the building. Infrastructure development, see that kind of thing. Job opportunity, with gender equality. CPB all the way, collection in our area. Paper justice, education in our area. Hey, all the property, we taking our country money, seeing the overseas. They finish. Money well, babu job, they finish. You get connection, you get into the house, they finish.